Welcome back, guys. So in last video we discussed about class and object and some properties of OOPs. So in this video we will discuss first about class and object, how we can create the class and how we will create the object and how we will copy the object to other object and how it will reside into memory. So before moving to that part, let's have an example. Example is very interesting. In mathematical notation, points are often written in parentheses with the comma separating with coordinates. So here I wrote the coordinates like x comma y. So this is x coordinate and this is y coordinate. If I want to represent any points, how we can represent? Suppose this is a point and we want to represent it x comma y. So here the value will be x and here will be y. So for example, let's say the points at this place. So x is 3 and 4 is y. So in this way we can represent it. So if we are talking about in programming, so how we can define it and how we can represent into memory, it's very simple. There are several ways we might represent points in Python. So one is like we could store the coordinates separately in two variables like x comma y. Let's say this is x, so x is 3 and the y equals 4. In this way we can represent, and we could store the coordinates as element in a list or tuple. So you can see here, so if I want to represent 2 points x and y, so I can use list and tuple also. So list, if I want to use, first coordinate is x, so 3 comma 4. List representation is this, and if I want to save into a tuple format, so this will be a tuple format. So you can see the difference. Here I'm using a square bracket, here parenthesis, because this is the difference between list and tuple. So the third point is like we could create a new type to represent point. So we can create a new type. New type means we can create a class like I have a class. For creating a class you can use this keyword, that is class, and class name is point. And here you need to use object because points automatically or any class will automatically inherit the object class. So we will see later in inheritance concept. You can use object, it is optional, and if you don't want to use parenthesis also, it is also okay, no problem. And I will pass it. Okay, so this is the point class. So for creating the class there are three ways. One is simple point. If you will write without parenthesis, it is okay, and if you are writing here parenthesis, then also okay, and if you are writing inside object, it is also okay. So no need to worry about it. So let's print this class that is called point. Python run. So the output will be like this: double underscore main double underscore dot point. What is the meaning of this? Why it is coming? So because point is defined at the top level. So what is top level and how we are using top level? Like we are using this module to run, right? In the same module we are writing the point class. So this is called top module. We will talk about in import lecture in an upcoming lectures. So no need to worry. So just remember, this is the top class or top level class. Its full name is double underscore main double underscore dot point. So this is the full name of this class by Python. So the class object is like a factory for creating objects. So now to create a point, you call point as if in a function. If you want to create a points, as I told you here, if I want to mention it into a RAM or in memory, so this is a logical entity. Till now it will not took place inside memory because it's a logical. And if I want to create the object of it, so object is like something P. P is the object, or we can say instance of this class. So point, and you have to pass here parenthesis. This is the mandatory part. So why we are using parenthesis here? This is called constructor. So we are calling the constructor of class. So what is constructor, how we are using constructor, and lots of debugging we will do in overloading. So here you need to remember this is the constructor. So we are calling the constructor of class. Then just try to print P. This is the point, or this is the object. So you can see here main dot point. This is the full name of class instance at this. This is the physical address of RAM. So how it will work, actually you can see here, I will draw a pictorial diagram of this. So you can see this is a RAM, or inside RAM P is the object of class point, and here it will take the memory in RAM. The starting address of this will be you can see here, this is the starting address of this, so whatever it holds. So you can see P holds the address of this memory. So you can see here, in this way we can create the instance at RAM. So the next point is we need to create attributes, or we can say we need to store these values. You can see here 3 and 4, we need to store it into RAM, right? So for more detail also, we can say the return value is a reference to a point object which we assign to blank. So you can see here I assign a blank memory here to the object. Creating a new object is called instantiation, and the object is an instance of class. So this P is the instance of class, and this is the process is called instantiation of object. To creating the object, that is called instantiation the object, or we can say reference or instance, all are same. So Python tells you what class it belongs to and where it is stored in memory. So here you can see how it gets stored in memory RAM, and I will draw a pictorial diagram of the complete class whenever we will move to the different classes. So the next point is the attribute. What is attribute and how we are using? So attribute is a property of class, or we can say object. If I'm talking about the point, so point is having two properties. One is x and y. These are the two variables we can say, or this is the properties. So how we can set the properties to the object? So it's very easy, like p dot x. This is the x-axis is 3. P dot. So this is dot. Dot is a reference to the y variable. So now you can see here we created a point in this. This is the point 3, 4. So we created a point using point type class. As I told you in starting, we will create our type and we will use it. Now we will make it a floating point, because points are floating. It can be a points also. So 3.5, 2.4 like that. So that's why I created 3.0, not integer. It is a floating point. Okay, so just print it. So how we can access this variable of object? Suppose you can write it like x-axis is p dot x. Will it work? No, it will give some error. Cannot concatenate string and float object. So in string video I told you we can't concatenate. So for that what we have to do is we need to convert it into a string. For converting into a string we need to use str function. So just run it. So you can see x-axis is 3.0 and I want to access y-axis also. So that one also we can see here. So just instead of x I will create y, and here y. So x-axis is 3.0 and y-axis is 4.0. So we represent this point into a memory. So how it will work, actually you can see this is a very simple way to create. So inside memory, this is your object p, and here some x and y variable, which is 3.0 and y is 4.0. So in this way, this is the memory and how they are referencing to each other, and this p object is reference of x and y. So this is called attribute of a class. So if I'm talking about here, what is the attribute of class point? That is x and y. What is the object of a class? P. What is the reference of a class? P. What is the constructor of class? Point using braces. So these are the questions will come up your mind. The next operation is Suppose I want to know the length of this point from this 0 to 0, like 0 0 coordinate. Suppose I want to know the distance between this 0 comma 0 and 3 comma 4. So how we can find the length of this point from 0 0 coordinate? It's very easy. You know the Pythagoras theorem. So Pythagoras theorem says this is a y-axis, which is 4, and this is x-axis, which is 3. So according to Pythagoras, if I want to know the length of this line, let's say it is a c. So c equals square root of x square plus y square. So using this formula, using Pythagoras theorem, we can find out the length of this point. So in programming, how we will work? So it's very interesting, very easy. So for that, I told you we need to import some math, and using math we will find out the square root. Okay, so if I want to know the distance, so this is a variable distance equals square root. So math dot square root of p dot x to the power 2. I told you these two multiple signs we need to use for power. So this is the p dot x to the power 2 plus p dot y to the power 2. So x square plus y square square root equals distance. So now you can print the distance easily. Wow, it is 5.0. If we will find out with this solution in this way, it's very easy. Like here you can directly write something. 3 square equals 9 and 4 square equals 16, and it will be square root of 25. So it will be 5.0. Why the 5.0? Because all are floating, so it will print floating point. So in this way we can find out the distance between 0 0 coordinate to any point. So in next video we will discuss, I have a circle from here to this is a circle, and I have some distance of radius. Suppose this is a radius of 5.5, or we can say this is something. So radius is 5.8 is the radius, and here is the point. So what is the relation between them and how we can use in function? So we will see this in next video. Thanks for watching.